Welcome to another edition of Strange New Pod. I am your Rigelian overlord, Julian Brown, alongside the best minions a gold crowned dude could ask for. Vice Admiral Eric is still camping in the wilderness. He might have lost his memory. He might have forgotten how to get here. That happens when you go to Rigel VII, apparently. Yeah, so I guess. Commander Hawk is here and found this really nice totem thing on a hike, but doesn't remember a thing about it. So
this is my totem.
This is your totem.
We don't see it. What is it?
Yeah. Oh, there's your totem.
Oh,
yeah. Hey.
Nice.
We call it the Picard.
The Picard. It is. That is a good totem. It is a good totem. And then Captain Giraffe is here and is wondering if throwing rocks is one of the new Trek things that we do.
Yeah,
apparently
like a lot
it is.
Of rock throwing.
Yep.
A lot of rocks.
A lot of rocks.
A lot of rocks.
Yep. Anywho, that's right. And then finally, Lieutenant Commander MC is here and is trying to figure out if she can go this entire episode without referencing the Buffyverse.
Not
Good
making
luck.
any promises.
And
And thank you to
Godspeed.
everyone in chat for all of the compliments about my t-shirt.
It's so awesome. I love it.
I'm getting one also.
Yep. How did she get it? Well, how did you get it, MC?
I'm magic.
That's what I was gonna say. She's magic like this.
She is magic. It's true. It is true. Welcome back, guys. Welcome aboard. It's like I just saw you or something, but I can't.
I know,
quite,
right?
It
I
doesn't
know.
quite
I
compute.
can't remember when.
You all
Yeah.
feel familiar.
Yeah. I have this ringing in my ears. It's from wearing headphones for
my
like 24
God.
hours straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week, what happens when the Enterprise is tasked with cleaning up the mess they made on Rigel VII 5 years ago? Who does Captain Pike find on the surface? And what happens when the away team and Enterprise crew begin to lose their memory? We break it all down. But first, Giraffe, we need to
Yes.
thank our Patron Collective members at the Ready Room
Shit,
level
you
and
tell
above.
me I didn't need that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot it's you. But see, this is me putting you on the spot, and I love it.
I literally said I don't have the outline. He was like, "It's fine. You just have to read the mailbag." And now I'm like, "Oh no!"
I lied.
know.
I pulled a Jim
Oh.
Kirk. I lied.
Mariah Gossett. How many can I remember?
Hey, that's 1 for 1.
Draft, would you like me to take it?
Wait, no, I have it. Ta-da! Okay,
Ta-da.
thank you. Simon Steger, Jeff Reeve, Maria Gossett, Tallulah, Jen Stein, Tina Alexander, Joseph Perito, Noe Santos, Kung Hui, Takako Nagumo, Kara Kennedy, Fernanda Nogales, SMK, Laura Linderman, Colin Davidson, Alan Davis, Jesco, Michael Graham, Emilian Travis, Gildara, Cassie, the homework stealing Vulcan, Maggie Light, sorry. Maggie Light, Spapple, Wayne Ritz, Konov Ark, Sean, Jay Howard, Mahalani Uchiyama, Matt Harker, Joshua Lewis, David Willett, Dara Pollen, Soap74, Ruth Parakeet, Joshua Miller, Adam Sanders, Aris Penjin, Lanky Guy, Cynthia Markey, sorry, it's 2 line. Aaron Wolke, Carl Engley, Michael Kwan, TJ, Mir, and Caitlin, Elizabeth Dean, Jim McMahon, the Chief Ernesto Castaña, who does not exist.
He doesn't exist, it's true.
No. And Sedano 317. It's the first time I read all these new names, so sorry. I'll get better, I swear.
Did good. You did good.
And big thanks to our executive producers, Commander Chris, Simon Steger, and the Chief Ernesto Castaña.
Yeah, thank you, executive
Yeah.
producers. Speaking of all our amazing patrons at the Ready Room level and above, round 1 of stickers went out this afternoon. So I will be going to the post office at some point tomorrow, buying more stamps, finally getting us a P.O. box. And
Good job.
yes, and then sending out more stickers. So hang tight. A few of you are going to get them, and then a few of them will get them next week sometime. Let's try and get some through some. Sorry, I'm like on full tank tonight. I'm drinking Coca-Cola, which is probably not a good idea for 9:41.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm going to throw you guys on the spot right now. This is going to be so much fun. I can't
Ooh.
wait. I said last night on the pod, where we're doing tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, that I was going to announce who's playing who in our table read of All the World's a Stage. And here's our cast list for Saturday's show. You guys ready for who you're going to be playing? Because I fucking love this.
Okay.
Here we go. Hawk will be playing the roles of Doll, Random Enterprisians, and, this is the best one, Admiral Janeway.
Ooh.
Yep.
I'm not worthy.
You're not worthy. Don't fuck it up, dude. Don't fuck it up. And then MC, I messaged you because I was like, there's no way the
You were
randomizer
excited,
did
yeah.
this, but somehow the randomizer did this. MC will be playing Gwyn and Essentia and Janeway.
Hey, she got all the good ones.
Giraffe, I think you're going to be happy with your roles too.
I want to be Murph.
You're not being nerfed. Sorry.
No.
Sorry. Buy as many forever stamps as you can afford. Price goes up 7.9. I think I will do that. Thank you, Matt. Giraffe. Oh no, me. I'm next on the list. Guess who I'll be playing? This is funny because I talked so much shit about him.
Jankum Pog.
I am playing Jankum Pog.
That's what you get.
That's what I get.
For being so mean to Jankum Pog for like 20 episodes.
It's true. I will be playing Jankum and James T and Dr. Noom. So 2 Tellarites and an Enterprisian. That's exciting. Giraffe will be playing Zero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah!
And Dr. Boons. And I think you're going to be excited about this one too. The Diviner.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm not worthy of John Noble.
I don't think anybody's
None of
worthy
us
of
are.
John Noble,
He's
though.
gonna get a weird accent now.
That's okay.
It's gonna
That's
be.
all right. Eric will be playing Rock Talk, which I know he's going to be so excited for.
Yeah. He's gonna like
And
that.
Sprock and Commander Tysus. And I know he likes W. Diggs as much as me. So
That is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then finally, our patron at the 10 forward level guest, Sean, will be playing Scott E. and Cadet Hoorah and Sulu. So all the good Enterprisian bridge crew. And then we do have a special guest to announce. That'll be videoed. We'll splice it in. Our good friend and executive producer and member of the writers room, Aaron Walke, is going to be doing the video. He's going to record Gorovich's monologue near the end of the episode. So we're really excited that he's able to do that. It's not Gorovich.
Should have kid the
Is it
surprise.
It's Garavik.
Garavik. Gorovich is from Russia. Garavik. Thank you. Yeah, so he'll be doing that. Before we do the table read, obviously we haven't touched on it live on the show yet. We're saving it for this. We'll touch on, what's going on with Star Trek Prodigy and more. So, fun cast list. That's Saturday night at our normal time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. Happy hour next week. It's going to be an interesting one. Yeah. And then, Giraffe, you can finally announce your panels. Let's do it quick. Hit it.
So if you've not seen it 15 times on social media already, I will be on 2 panels on Thursday, 20th at San Diego Comic-Con. There are 4 Star Trek panels in total at San Diego Comic-Con. They are all on Thursday. You can hit all of them if you want. The first one is not with me, but with Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, who are the writers for IDW Star Trek. Go to that. It's really amazing. They're incredible. And then the second one is with the good friend of our Discovery Pod. And we're going to talk going boldly into Star Trek, which is a Star Trek panel for beginners. Where to start, what episode to watch. You can judge us and tell us that we're wrong. So it's going to be fun. At 1 p.m. And then the last one is evolutionary biology in Star Trek. I'll be moderating a panel of scientists talking about all species and evolution and biology in Star Trek. It's going to be super fun and super
Lizard
weird.
babies.
Lizard babies. They're not evolution. They don't want to talk about it.
Lizard babies?
And this one will be at 8 p.m. So if you manage to be like there at 8 p.m., we'll all go and get a drink when it's over. I promise.
And Giraffe is
Yes.
good at drinking. We did a lot of drinking this weekend.
Mhm.
I
This
did
past
a
week. It was
lot
fun.
of drinking
It was fun.
last year in San Diego Comic Con. I do not remember everything. Let's just say that.
Yeah, those were good times. You did more drinking
Yeah.
than I did. You got to go to more parties. So
Yes.
I am excited for your panels. I wish I could be there. I can't make it this year. You guys are gonna kill it. MC will also be there, so keep a lookout.
I will be there.
So stickers and fun times and all the good stuff. Let's get to it, guys. The strange new loop. If you were Starfleet Command, would you have sent the Enterprise back to Rigel VII when the Cayuga was close by? Chat, let us know your answers. Who wants to go first?
I say no. If I'm Starfleet Command, I wouldn't have sent them there if the Cayuga is right there. And given the fact that, they had a disastrous first contact when they, 5 years ago and that people died, and it's got to be like a painful experience for everybody involved, including Pike, including Spock. However, the impression I'm getting is that Spock is kind of sticking his nose into the Enterprise's business right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Battelle didn't just get skipped over for Commodore, but Basalk probably was like, "Hey, let's send the Enterprise back there, fuckers." Not that Vulcans say fuckers, but
They
They say it in Vulcan.
They say it in Vulcan.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they say it very
And be
politely.
careful if you misspell it. MC is gonna tell you that you didn't spell it right.
Oh,
She's like correcting my Vulcan grammar
shade.
on our private chat.
Oh.
I was like, you really?
Do you want to spell Cathera wrong?
I don't know. I was driving at the same time. Don't tell.
Okay,
anyone.
that's fair.
That was some shade. I like the shade.
Right.
Ooh.
Well, okay. So the question is, I would not because they already fucked it up, right? And I'm just like,
Mm.
the thing is like, if it was the first fuck up, I'd be okay. Go and clean up and see what up. But we all know here that it's not the first time they do something stupid like this. I mean, stupid was not really their fault, but kinda, And texting and driving. Yeah, I was stuck on the 5. They're like, have you seen the?
You don't move on the 5. It doesn't.
You don't move.
No.
It's like a parking lot. Like, so that. But then Starfleet, you totally know that that's what they do, right? This is a very Starfleet move. Oh, you like lost 3 people. Your science officer almost died. You had to drag him in his blood back to the transporter or whatever, or back to the shuttle. Yeah, go again.
Yeah.
Second time's the charm.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Totally.
Starfleet is really big on people cleaning up their own messes. It's like, you guys fucked up, so you guys have to fix it. So, considering everything went down badly with Rigel, I could definitely see them being, it's like, okay, no, you got to try this again and you got to do it properly because, there's just too much paperwork to bring the Cayuga into it. So,
But it's not classified.
I don't think
It's
Rigel
not
7 was classified.
No, not that it's classified, just that,
Oh.
just that they got to try again because, they already have all the paperwork done for first contact. So,
And it's been 5 years.
I think they got the math wrong. I think it's actually 6, but I won't say anything. It could be 5, but I think it's more like 6. But
It's like
whatever.
in Lower Decks when Mariner says Starfleet is very bad at keeping tab on the planet they first contacted.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Over in the chat, we got a very stern "oh hell no" from Colin. Yes, I agree. Michael Kwan goes, if we're concerned about the mental toll on Pike and the Enterprise crew, then we know the Enterprise is getting the mission. Starfleet Medical, mental health services for never.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. STMCD 1701. Here's a thought. Pike is right. Someone was giving the Enterprise a chance to clean up their mess. Basalk would probably rather the Cayuga or some other vessel check it out, either as retribution. See, I don't know, man. I think Basalk is both wanting to fuck with Pike and doesn't want to give a bone at
Who
all
doesn't
to
want to fuck
Battelle.
with Spike? Well,
I
I mean, you're not wrong. And then he also says on Bagel or more ammo against, or Battelle, I think he meant to say, or more ammo
Yeah.
against Pike et al. A rival admiral wanted to give Pike a heads up. Yeah.
I mean, considering how badly things went last time, maybe they think things are going to go worse this time, and that it could take care of Pike.
Oh my God. Do you think that Pike's pet name for Battelle is Bagel? Hey, Bagel.
what?
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. She's Bagel for now on. Bagels and pancakes.
Forever.
Seeing as Pike nearly quit Starfleet because of what happened on Rigel VII, I would ask him, and you know Pike, he's going to say yes, but I wouldn't order them, right? Like when Una's like, we can defer, and he's like, no, we can't. No, we can't. They got ordered to do it, to clean up their mess. I think, Starfleet being, a better organization would have asked him if he's comfortable doing that. But I wouldn't have just ordered him to go. So,
But it was done in such a weird way too. He said this was offered to us as a courtesy. And that. And even that he could read between the lines, and that there was no courtesy involved.
Well, right, and this actually probably goes back to the pilot a little bit, right? Because they renamed General Order 1 the Prime Directive because of Pike, and now here's Starfleet Delta's on a pre-war planet. So they're like, dude, get your shit together, get your house in order. That being said, I don't think I would have sent him. Any other answers? I think we're good, right? We're good. Do we know when Starfleet started adding counselors to Starship compliments? TNG.
Yeah. Encounter at Farpoint.
Encounter at Farpoint, apparently. Yeah. Let's get to this, guys. It is our review of Among the Lotus Eaters, Strange New Worlds, episode 204. Our order tonight will be MC, Hawk, Giraffe, followed by myself. Oh, MC's like ready to go. I like it.
I actually just said, oh my God, I'm first on this episode.
You're first on this
exactly.
episode.
See?
Yep.
I'm blessed. 2 weeks in a row.
I'm
amazing.
Going to quickly say something because I feel the need to say it after seeing some things on social media. Since the inception of this podcast, have always been fair and equal. We are never going to say nice things or good things about an episode that we don't like. It's not us. It's not honest. Just because we get screeners from Paramount, we have that privilege, doesn't mean that we're also, and I say this with the utmost respect, we're not shills for them. We're not here to love every single episode. Because I've seen some things on social media today, and I just wanted to point that out. Listen, I think we are more than fair. When we love something, we praise it, and we don't, we go into it. And I think that we've always been fair about it. So I want to preface that before we start this one, because it's going to be, listen, it's going to be mostly negative. So I want to get that out of the way now. That being said,
well, the thing that is interesting, I don't know if I may, I'm like literally weaving a Roman belt while we're doing this. If like anybody was wondering what the hell I was doing, because San Diego Comic Con is in 2 weeks, and I've done
and you're
nothing.
not ready because you're never ready, and it's amazing. I love how you do these in such
and
a
I mean
short time.
I don't think we need to prove more that we like doing this review and we like Star Trek. Like we're not being paid to do that.
No.
Like I have a full-time job. We are we all do. Like we have like family lives, and we're still live like every Thursday. And I have to say that all the work that Julian does, like editing and posting and all the things, like takes a lot of work, a lot of time. So I mean, if people are like whatever, you know what? We like most of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We do.
Yeah,
Like,
we're never not going to love the Star Trek franchise and that. But even we admit openly that you'll get great episodes and then you'll get terrible episodes.
Yeah,
and
I think.
Go ahead.
I think we've had a very interesting couple of episodes, because for like the last for Picard and everything, there's always like this mix of opinions on things. For Strange New Worlds so far, we've been very much lockstep on things, which I think is maybe heightening
conversations.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
hold my beer for 205. So
Hold your beer for 205. Yeah. um. Yeah. So I just wanted to preface that by saying, like, we're fair. It is what it is. And just because this is our opinion does not make your opinion any less. Like, I love that people love this episode. I don't
Mhm.
think that you're wrong, right? I just have my opinions. MC does, Giraffe and Hawk, and we shouldn't deter you from that. But you guys come to listen to what we think, and that's why you're all here, and we love you for it. So that being said, let's get into it. Crimes against tomatoes. That's right. The episode begins with Pike and Battelle trying to find time for themselves. Between the two, they're being bombarded with messages from each of their ships. Una's like, personnel reports. Cayuga, I don't even remember what they wanted. They did a study on
the course correction.
Course correction. Like, come on, you're really contacting her
Mhm.
about a course correction? Guys, come on. All they want to do is spend 30 minutes
That's
together.
bad leadership, by the
That
way.
is bad leadership.
If your crew needs you to do that.
Well,
bad
that's,
leadership.
yeah, that's true.
Mm.
All they want to do is have some time together, enjoy a meal. Battelle does get vigorously an important message from command, and we learn she was up for Commodore, but was passed up. It seems because of Vice Admiral Pasalk. Pike starts to question whether he's getting in the way of her advancement because of what happened with Una and just other reasons, and he thinks they should take a break. Thoughts on how this whole thing was handled, MC?
Pike is an idiot and a typical starship captain who cannot commit to anything. Or I should say a typical dude captain, or maybe just a typical dude. Because Battelle, like, she appreciates the Pike and, is willing to,
appreciates the Pike.
And obviously we've talked about like what exactly the extent of their relationship is. Like, are is it just like kind of a friends with benefits thing? Because like they've been together at the very least since the pilot, and probably since before that.
Yep.
Because they seemed pretty comfortable with things. But in that time, we've also seen Pike having some romance with other people. So I mean, obviously it's not an exclusive relationship, or they've gotten to this point of, is it going to become more serious, or what? And Pike goes all dude on her. And this scene together, I mean, it's definitely what would happen with two Starfleet captains trying to have a booty call. Because we know how busy Starfleet captains are. That's the whole reason why none of them have time for romance anyways, except for when they go to a planet and hook up with one of the locals, and it becomes like a part of what they're doing. So like actually trying to find like a minute to just be them rather than the captain, that's a big thing. And I think that there is a mentality with the captains where they need to push all of that stuff aside, and Pike's an idiot for it.
Yep, agreed. Hawk.
Yeah, kind of the same. I mean, like, I think his fatal error is that, like, he took the whole situation and he made it about himself, even though this was what was happening to her, and he takes it upon himself that this is about me, not. And obviously, we got to take a break in that. It's very stupid of him. He finds out at the end of that how bad it was, his decision. But also, like, how about how petty of Pasalk, right?
Dude is just, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Vulcans holding grudges and that's an emotion.
Vulcans hold grudges.
They sure do.
Oh yeah, have you met Sarek? He's not talking to his son, literally. Like for like what, 18 years?
Ambassador from Enterprise who didn't like Archer until like season 4.
That's true.
What was his name? Who's the Vulcan
Sylvan?
ambassador? Sylvan.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
They're hypocrites.
They
But
are.
anyways, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
This is news.
Giraffe.
Well, I don't agree with everybody. Or let's start. I think that Pike, compared to a lot of like captains, has been like showing that he wants a relationship,
Yes.
and he's being very steady in it. Like they're making time, they're trying to meet, he's cooking. I mean, and it's since before he was back on the Enterprise. The fact that it doesn't work, I don't think it's like a dude thing or a captain thing. I just think it's a busy person thing. Like I totally relate in the fact that there's a lot on everybody's plate, and he's feeling that is adding to her plate. And we see clearly that even in the future, being promoted as a woman is absolutely complicated. And he feels that because, he's like the golden boy, right?
Boy Scout.
Like, I want to know when like he got promoted to captain. Like, is it in Discovery that there's a Captain Pike Medal of Honor or something like this, or is it
That's
in
the
one of
Deep
the
Space
book?
Nine.
But there is in the book also in Wonderland. She finds a Captain Pike medal.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, like we know he's gonna have like even before his accident or after, I don't know. Like he has like a glorious career, and seeing that woman that he respects intellectually and professionally, and seeing her being passed for having done something right, he feels that is the problem. And in the end, relationship, they come, they go. I don't think that when you're like in this position and working for Starfleet and having a spaceship and all that and being like responsible for so many people, you're like, no, I want to quit everything and I want to have a picketed fence. And like, they know they're married to their job, and there is a point where both of them made choices for their career, and very clearly their career is more important than anything at this point. So no, I think the only thing that I think is wrong is that he doesn't discuss it with her.
Right, he makes the
decides
decision
for her.
Yeah.
But I do think that it comes from a right place. And at one point, even, discussion is going to be just more heartbreak and more complication and more, at one point, you're just like, I'm going to step out because that's what is better for you. And I see it. So I don't know. I didn't like made me feel bad for like, I was not like, oh, you're like a mean guy or stuff like that. I was like, yeah, it makes sense. To me, it makes sense.
Yeah. So the parts with Battelle and Pike are like the few parts of the episode that I enjoyed. I love the relationship. So anytime that we get the two of them on screen, I think they have excellent chemistry. I really like seeing it. I see both sides of this, honestly, right? Because I think, it's not cool for Pike to just make the decision, but I think like, he goes from this being like, I think they're in a relationship at this point, right? Like they're boyfriend and girlfriend, but they're not like, they're not, I think, at like the, let's like talk about getting married stage yet. So all of a sudden he's cooking pasta and she comes in like with a pretty cool gift for him, right? So that's like, I don't know if that's like warning bell number one, but maybe it's like, oh, okay, so now we're giving each other gifts. That's that's a big deal. And it's not just any gift. Like that's something that really means a lot to him. And then all of a sudden she gets this bad news and is like, oh fuck, like now I'm in this amazing relationship. I'm getting gifts and I'm holding this person back. So he's got to be feeling like a lot. So I get how he's feeling. I don't think he handles it great. I don't like that he's just like, yeah, let's take a break. Because she's upset that she got passed up. Like she's not upset with him, right? And I think he reads the room wrong a little bit too.
Listen, if you're in a relationship and you feel like you're the reason and you're the reason for the person you like being passed, and that she like would rather keep in this direction and you don't want to have that burden or that guilt, peace out. Like,
right. But I think
at least discuss it.
At least discuss it because there is something there. And I think Pike deserves to be happy, and I think Battelle deserves to be happy. So Marty Williams goes, and she was already familiar with that pasta dish. No, wrong. It's actually he makes her pasta carbonara the last time they had pasta. This is like a classic red sauce. Just point that out.
Oh, by the way, speaking of the Vulcan, I don't remember his name.
Pasalk.
I don't think he's hypocrite. I think he's just being steady in what he thinks.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He thinks they're losers. He thinks they're problems.
Yeah,
he
but
thinks
they're
that
not.
She didn't do her job.
Well,
like to him, she is clearly a liability. She was here to do one job and she actually worked against him. Like if anybody that I work with works against me under my direction to do something, that person is screwed. I am done with them. Like, I don't think he's changing his mind. I think he's just being who we saw he was being in episode 2.
I've got to back Giraffe up on this because also if Pasalk thinks that Battelle is compromised because of her emotions for Pike,
Yeah,
he's a Vulcan.
absolutely.
I don't know. I don't see it.
Good points.
Yeah.
Like if you have like one job to do, you're hired and like you're the supervisor and like you're here to do one job and the job is, I don't know, whatever. And you have like a plus one, like a second in command to help you do that. And you brief and you work with that person. And then the moment you need to do the job, that person goes and literally turns the thing in the other way and it gets out of your hands. For him, he's right. For us, he's a bad guy and, you know, he's wrong because we like Una. But for him, he's right and he's working for Starfleet. And he has basically a crazy, like a bunch of crazy person that are compromised, not doing their job, putting people in danger. And for him, they cannot become Commodore because why the fuck would you promote somebody that literally didn't do the one job you hired her to do? You know what? You know
But
what? He
I don't
sees?
think that's fair though, because she did her job to the best of her. Because she did her job to the best of her ability, right?
No, she did not.
She
No,
got
she did.
outmatched by
No,
Nira,
she
though.
did. One, she got outmatched. Two, she did everything that she was asked to do, and it's not her fault that Pike went and got a really good lawyer, right? So I don't know. I think I don't know. I
She
think that
hides stuff from him.
who
Battelle.
from Pike.
Yeah,
No,
no,
from
from
Pasak.
Pasak.
What did she hide?
Well, she hides the fact that she knew that Pike knew. She hides the fact that she talks to Pike, that she met him and talked about Una. Like, dude, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, fuck your promotion. You're out.
I think that's privileged information, though, right? Those are conversations had in private between two people. They're not in any official logs.
Dude, no, not if you're like in a law, in a set order, like in a set court order. Like your lawyer can't go like and like talk to a witness behind my back. Like maybe it's not illegal, but you're doing that behind my freaking back. You're done. You're not getting a promotion ever. Like,
I mean,
want you
she
out.
Pasak took over that case and they still lost, which is
He also could have put Battelle on the sidelines and done the case himself, but
Sure.
decided to keep her. That's on him, not on her.
Battelle told Pike not to take the stand. Like, that's a big thing.
That's huge.
Fair. I could concede that point that maybe she
I mean, he's
shouldn't.
still the bad guy and we don't like him, but I could like
Yeah.
see why he's doing it without being like, you know, crazy or like,
Right.
it's very logical.
Well,
Anyway,
and that's what it gets down
Side
to.
notes.
Vulcan logic. It's more Rotten Tomatoes, right, for Pike as he gets the news that the Enterprise has been tasked with returning to Rigel VII after Starfleet recon on the planet saw a castle on that planet now adorned everywhere with Starfleet Deltas. That's just not good. Una briefs those of the crew that weren't at the events that happened on Rigel VII about those that we heard about in the cage. They were there 5 years ago. 3 killed, a lot more injured. Spock almost dies. He's bleeding out, right?
Spock always almost dies.
Spock almost always dies. It's true. Starfleet obviously wants the Enterprise to clean up its mess. We were talking about how it's a courtesy. Without knowing what we know after watching this episode, what were you guys feeling knowing we were going to finally find out more about this disastrous event that made Pike almost want to quit Starfleet? MC.
Very as soon as because we've known that they were going to be visiting Rigel VII since they had like the promo clip of so we've known for like longer than basically anything else from this season, and this is iconic Star Trek lore. This is since I don't know if any of it got into the cage. I think most of it, or in the menagerie, I think most of it was just in the cage.
It was, yeah. It was mostly the
yeah.
Talos stuff in the menagerie, yeah.
Yeah. So still, it's been around for decades at this point, and we know nothing about it. This is fundamental Christopher Pike. And not only fundamental Christopher Pike, but number one, Spock. Oh my, so many expectations for this. And I can't talk about anything more because we're not going to talk about until we get more into what happens. But yes, I was very I was very excited.
Yeah. Who's up next? Hawk.
Yeah, same. I was super excited, because in the past when they've actually revisited some of the legacy worlds and that of like the Pike and crew's past, like they did a great job when they did Talos back in Discovery.
Yes.
So I was really looking forward to this. Like them having to go undercover on a Bronze Age planet, and that him bringing the two best fighters he had on the. I was expecting something more action combat heavy in this episode, and I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, Giraffe.
I was not looking forward to it. Why? Not because I don't want to know about Pike. I always like that. Because like every time Star Trek does like the primitive culture Bronze Age stuff, it's messed up. So I was like, let's see, like how many times they're gonna say primitive or unevolved or something like that, and I'm gonna cringe. They say Bronze Age, but like, what does that? The hell does that mean? That means nothing. So I was just like, I'm gonna watch and see. But I was not really looking forward to all the fur and the leather and like, why is the weather always bad on like primitive planets? Like, dude, why isn't it like
Yes, they film
a
in
lush
Canada.
paradise?
So yeah, I was like, it's not the kind of episode that I usually look forward to.
Fair.
Like we saw it in like Lower Decks with like Peanut Hamper. I'm like,
Fair.
I don't know. Yeah. So I was not really looking
Hey,
forward to it.
that planet was really nice looking.
It was really nice. That was kind of a
Yeah, but the
paradise.
whole like conversation, I know it was supposed to be like a parody and so on, but like, I like don't touch this anymore. Leave it. Put it in a closet. Leave it in the 60s. Don't touch it anymore. But yeah.
Yeah. I went into this episode with ridiculously high expectations for something completely different than what we got. We started this podcast because basically of the Cage and love for Christopher Pike and then getting him on Discovery. And one of the biggest mysteries about Pike, he talked about in Discovery, he talked about in Strange New Worlds, Rigel VII, right? Like this is his biggest failure. He almost quits Starfleet, almost joins like the Orion Pirates, and like, Dr. Boyce like talks him out. He's like, dude, you can't be an Orion pilot. Shut the fuck up. This is like a big deal for him. He lost people, and we know how much Pike hates losing people, and a lot more people got injured, and he hates that too. So for him to go back to the planet that was his biggest failure, and it's only a few minutes of dialogue, but it's dialogue that gets brought up a lot. I was super stoked. Like I really wanted this episode, and especially when we were kind of a little bit hinted that Ortegas was going to be involved. That was cool too. I was stoked. Tara's excited about Peter Hammer mention. Let's move on. High Lord Zacharias on the planet. Pike, La'an, and M'Benga begin their journey to the castle with no Starfleet tech, as to not fuck things up more than they already did 5 years ago. Along the way, La'an begins hearing ringing in her ears and loses about 6 hours, 6 hours, give or take. You could tell the effects are starting to also be felt by Pike and M'Benga when they're captured and brought before Zach, or High Lord Zacharias, as he's now called, Pike's former yeoman, who he thought got KIA'd. Pike is stunned to see him. He was told he went down when they were there last. He explains the Rigelians adopted the Starfleet logo in Zach's honor because, he armed them with phaser rifles, because that's what you do when you're trapped on the planet. So he sends Pike and the rest away into an outdoor cell. What did we think about the revelation that Pike left behind and the introduction of Zach, MC?
Well, I think that this could very well happen. Like this is, if you think somebody, was killed, but then, it turns out they're not, like that, if you're moving quickly, Spock's, bleeding out, all this different kind of stuff. Yes, that's very much something that could happen. And I think it is absolutely the right thing to have happen if you want to address the issues of the Cage. And bringing in the Starfleet logo thing and the phaser rifles, just like the absolute cultural contamination. I mean, we're going to be getting into that in the table read when we do All the World's a Stage. This is kind of like the dark version of it,
and done the wrong way. Yeah,
done the wrong way. Yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't getting into that quite yet. I mean, I still have more to say on that. Because at this point, it's fine. Like, I do not have a problem with the episode right now. It's like, oh my God, we're going to get into Pike's issues because he felt so guilty in the cage. Like you said, he was planning to leave Starfleet. And now he's confronted with one of the people that he thought had died. It's Zach is basically a ghost for Pike.
Yeah.
But he's a ghost who's just like, you fucking left me behind.
Yep.
So, and now not only that, but this world has been completely contaminated. The Prime Directive, which Pike is, responsible for, basically. It's just everything's blowing up in his face. This is worse than what happened right before the cage. So yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
The revelation was, it was interesting in that, like, this situation, as MC said, it was a bad situation, and now it's worse than that. He left a guy behind. It's one thing that bothered me was Leon. If you lose 6 hours of time,
oh my God, thank you.
Do you think maybe that's not a good enough reason to to tell Mbenga, your doctor, and your captain, on an away mission on the planet? That kind of bothered me. It's like,
and the fact that they have the nerve not to turn the fuck around.
I will actually defend the episode in this. It does feel to me that there's enough disorientation and almost like an anesthetizing effect that comes with the losing of the memories, that like when Uhura, like when she like loses her memory, she's just like, did I turn it in? And she's not freaking out. It's Una who's just like, get yourself to sickbay right now. So I could see La'an not like jumping on it and being like, oh well,
I just 6 hours. It's like you start out on the mission, you walk 20 kilometers, 6 hours of time are gone, and that it's like the things you should be considering are like stroke or some sort of like subdermal hematoma, maybe even.
Yeah.
Ooh, with the big words, Hawk, today.
Yeah, I was inspired by the legal geeks.
Hematoma.
Like that at that point, like the mission should have been abandoned. It's because the fact that something like that came on so suddenly and that is causing up to turn around. Yeah, and the fact that when they started feeling the same things themselves, well, I mean, by that point, I think it was too late for them.
Well, right, yeah. Treff.
Okay, so first of all, Ortega's not going on the airway mission. I was mad. I was in pain. I was pissed. I was like, give me an Ortega's episode, you cowards. Her being pissed at Spock, and that's one of the things I really liked into that episode, is that we get a little bit of like teasing about Ortegas. She's pissed at Spock when like clearly it's not his fault. Like, I mean, he's the messenger, but like I was like, oh, interesting. The thing I don't understand is Spock made the things, like to like the objects they need to take with them. Like, why don't they hide tech in them?
Right.
Like, you can have a spy glass that is an actual like detector or whatever that looks like a freaking spyglass. Like, how hard is it? Put a switch on it so when they take it, you switch it off, and then it doesn't work. Like, how freaking hard is it to have like a fake, like something that is a phaser? Like, anyway, I was like, nobody thought.
Make a walking stick.
A walking stick's phaser. Like, exactly. Like, don't send them like, in French we say going in something with your dick and your knife. Like, it's a French expression. I swear to God, it's a real expression. It's like
that does not shock
like,
me.
like unprepared, like with like nothing and thinking you're prepared is insane. Lon not saying anything. Like he asked her, what are your symptoms? What's going on? And he's clearly worried. Even if she doesn't say like she lost 6 hours, she's disoriented. She's not the usual her. Like walk back. Then maybe they forget everything in the middle and then they don't know where they are. Sure, that doesn't work for the plot, but whatever. And then Zach. We were talking about Zach, right?
Yeah.
I was so excited about Zach. I was like, yeah, again, for me, immediately when I watched the episode, I told you, oh, it's all the words a stage, but make it horrible, make it bad, make it messed up. So I was so excited about Zach because that's the worst case scenario, right? The castaway, the guy that survived against all odds. And I'm like, yeah, in All Wars a Stage, the guy is dead for like centuries.
Yeah.
So whatever. But I'm like, oh my God, I want to know what that guy had gone through. I need to know how crazy he is. Like, what does that do to your brain? Like, it's like what his face in TOS that is like hidden on the planet. Where he's like the captain. Or is that in the comics? Decker. No, it's not Decker. What's his name?
Cochrane? Cochrane was on the planet for
there's one that stays on the planet with like the freaking Klingons or something, trying to like rig up
in
is it in TOS or in the comic book? I don't remember. Anyway, it's like a theme that you see like all the time in Star Trek. And I think it's a good story. It's such a good plot. And I'm like, that it is the red shirt that against all odds freaking survived. Tell me about him. Tell me about that dude. And yeah, as you said, like it's the worst case scenario for Pike. Like it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like horrible. You left somebody behind. And that guy is like not like the Starfleet ideal. It was like, Captain Pike, I knew you were gonna come back for me. He's like, fuck you, fuck Starfleet, fuck your horse, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to know how they built their giant deltas or like the Brown's Age
Slave
people.
labor. Right?
With guys that can't remember a pattern from a day to another, like good luck.
I'm going to be bringing that up.
Good point.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think that's where we stop, right?
Yeah. I really did not like at all that they didn't turn around. That was problem number one. Like, Mbenga's a doctor. Even though Pike was like, no, we couldn't make it back. Like, you have authority in the situation. Be like, no, this is not right. Turn back. Like, yeah, Uhura seemed like mostly okay, but Una in command of the Enterprise makes the right decision. She's like, dude, get out of your station and get out of here and go to sickbay. And Mbenga should have taken command and been like, we're going back. This is not cool. So, issue number one. Cool, though. They get captured. All about getting captured. Getting captured is fun. It makes a good Star Trek episode. Zach. Great character. Ridiculously underused. Like, what the hell happened? Zach was there a minute, and then we don't see him for an hour. Great acting. Like you guys said, I can't say it any better than you did. Worst case scenario for Pike. Pike hates leaving people behind. And here's one of the people that he's probably most closest to, right? His yeoman. This is the person that he gives his log to every day, who probably gets him a coffee. You know, like, this is basically his personal aide. And he thought he was dead. And here he is wearing a crown and has armed the locals. This is a great episode. This is a great fucking idea.
Yeah.
And then it disappears. Like their minds. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we talk about something? I don't know if it comes up later, but too many outlines for a week, Julian.
And you're getting one more? No, I'm kidding.
Mbenga becoming the like fighter guy on the ship. I don't like it at all.
No, I don't like it either. I'm not happy about it.
I'm like,
no. Well, and that leads me,
getting him as a doctor, I don't know. It's just weird that they're switching him from such a powerful position and respectful position, like coming with like, Beverly Crusher and Bones and, even the doctor, Julian Bashir, like all like these doctors that, have like these like other skills, but are still the doctor, right? Doing doctor shit. And now he's like, he says it like, oh, he does. I'm here for my combat training. And I'm like,
And you know he's not happy about it either. The way he says the line, but
I'm gonna take a guess actually why they're doing this. I bet you the actor is probably the best fighter out of everyone.
Oh, yeah, most
it doesn't make. I don't know. It's not. He was really good in Dune, so I mean, you're probably right.
Yeah, no, he has like a jujitsu, like
Yeah.
black belt,
Black
something,
belt.
right?
But that also.
But I was excited to see like a black man in like science and stuff,
Yeah.
and not being the muscle, not being, it's like show me something a bit different.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Star Trek has never done that also. So I was like, oh, we're starting with this? Why?
Yeah. But that leads me to my other point about this. Like this whole away team is a wasted opportunity from what we know about Rigel VII and the Cage. Like, dude, the fans, since the show even started before started filming, have wanted Dr. Boyce. Like, this is how you bring in Jeffrey Combs and make him play Dr. Boyce. And he's the doctor that goes on the mission with him because he's like, I need you by my side for this one. Guess who else goes on the away team? Una, the only other person who has experience about Rigel VII and was on the ship. Like, everything is wrong about the away team to begin with. I would have taken Ortegas because Ortegas apparently was, on the ship during the Cage.
Yeah, that makes
judging
sense.
by the script.
But I would argue that Una is still fresh back.
True. Fresh
back. And that getting the captain and the EXO, I mean, not that it ever stopped Picard and Riker,
right.
It's like not super good idea because you need to leave somebody at the con. But I think she's like really freshly back.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
Maybe like she was like she had a lot of stress.
Yeah,
and like I'm absolutely happy that they didn't get Spock because Spock almost died last time. Don't get the guy.
Well, no, you don't bring Spock
PTSD
down. But you could have had him dealing, like, shown some kind of like something on the ship about Rigel VII, but there's just nothing.
Well, I have like an issue, like, talking about Una. What the fuck happened to Una in this episode? After she orders Uhura to sickbay, what happens to her?
She vanished.
Well, she vanished.
She goes to
she's literally like
she goes to sickbay, and then they replace her with Spock because that's what Strange New Worlds does.
Yeah,
it's all about Spock.
Yeah. I mean, you bring up boys. Like, what if they had the Cayuga also go on this mission, and Boyce is now the chief medical officer of the Cayuga?
There's so many ways that you could have brought him into this, and it would have made so much sense. And it's such a wasted opportunity.
And in terms of like first officer and captain going on, they have established it that they did not come up with the rule about captain and first officer going on away missions together until the 24th century, because there's an issue with that in Discovery where Michael wants so that is firmly established,
and they do go on an away mission together in the Serene Squall. They go to the pirate ship together.
So we could totally have them and have Spock dealing with his trauma about the fact that he almost fucking died. This is we're now starting to get into the fact that this is two episodes just kind of jammed together. They should have done the Rigel VII episode. They should have done the Amnesia episode, but not as together. The same episode.
Yeah. Before we get into more of that, we have our second trivia question of the week. Who wants to read it?
Ooh, I'd love to.
Who raised their hand first? I heard MC and I heard Hawk.
I was just cheering.
Oh, so you were? Okay. Hawk, hit it.
Yeah. So the trivia this week. In the Star Trek pilot The Cage, after the events of Rigel VII that left crew members dead and more injured, what location was the Enterprise traveling to when they got the distress call from Talos?
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Go rewatch The Cage.
Yep.
And a reminder that both trivia questions from last night and tonight will be answered next week.
That's right. And Michael Kwan, you are absolutely correct, sir. Apologies, I did screw that up. Una gets captured on board the Enterprise and ends up in a cell with Pike. They actually don't go on the away mission together. So I stand corrected. You are right. Let's talk about totems. Oh, by the way, for the trivia, please email the answers for yesterday's question and this question to trivia@strangenewpod.com or hit Strange New Pod in all of their DMs on social media @StrangeNewPod, or you could just DM me on Discord. Let's talk about totems. After losing more time, Pike and Benga and La'an are in their cell. Pike still vaguely kind of remembers who he is and like what's going on, but La'an and Benga have forgotten who they are. They're done. They're helped by a man, Luke, who convinces the guards to let him help with their forgetting, because they call it the forgetting.
The forgetting.
The forgetting. It's like the shitty M. Night Shyamalan movie, The Happening, or as it's
Oh.
betterly
Oh,
known, The Crappening.
Do not. I love that.
Ugh.
I love that movie because it's so dumb.
Okay, I'm glad you got the "it's so dumb" part in there.
It's so stupid. It's my favorite movie.
Okay.
Like somebody was like, "We're gonna get Marky Mark, and he's gonna be a science teacher." And I was like, "Yes, give all the money to that."
Oh my god. So it's just not working for Luke, though, as La'an wants to just fight everybody, because even though they've forgotten their memories and forgotten who they are, La'an is still very much La'an, which just doesn't make a ton of sense. And Pike and M'Benga just want to remember. La'an is hurt fighting off the guards, and Pike keeps on about needing to get their memories back, especially to help La'an, because M'Benga feels like he can save her. Thoughts on the memory loss angle on Rigel VII
God.
MC?
Oh well, I already started on
You
this,
did.
and that's once the memory loss stuff started. This felt like there were 2 episodes that were jammed together, and it didn't really make any coherent sense. And I am not a huge fan of Amnesia episodes in television because
Add that to the list. No swap episode. No memory loss episode. No.
I'm not as rough on Amnesia episodes. And I was talking with Julian about this before. It's not that I have a problem with the tropes themselves. I have a problem with the way that they're often executed because they take a very gentle hand. And I think this one absolutely misses the mark on everything, because the whole point of doing an Amnesia episode is you are stripping away all the bullshit. So, and like getting to the core of these characters. But the problem is the core of these characters that they're actually showing are just the most the most basic, character summary of, she's the pilot, he's the captain, she's the violent one, he's the healer. Like,
Oh,
This
so
is all
bad.
says
It was
that.
so bad.
Like I can lose all my memories, and I will never say, "I think you're the healer." Who says that? Who
Yeah.
says that?
and just the fact that they put this as the backstory of Rigel VII, that this planet it's not like this has been happening for a short amount of time. It's not like it's been 50 years that this has been going on, because 50 years is even pushing it. This has been going on for thousands of years. I'm sorry. How the fuck would a society actually, I know the society doesn't actually work, but they would have died out if every couple of hours they're losing their memories. Like, it would just not function at all. So I just did not, it was, they could have done something interesting with it. They did not. And and it just did not mesh with all of this, intense story from Rigel VII, where you need to have Pike remembering everything. You need to have him feeling the guilt. What's the point of him going through all of this emotional upheaval if you don't let him actually process it?
Yeah. I've seen Chris's comment. It was a bit stupid, but it was fun. But that's the thing. Like it
was
wasn't
boring.
fun. It was ridiculously boring, mainly because, and I say this with utmost respect, because we know these actors are amazing and can act, but it just wasn't acted correctly. Like, La'an was still acting like La'an, and Pike was still acting like Pike, and M'Benga was still acting like M'Benga. When you lose your memories like this and you're going to do an amnesia, like the episode in Angel where they lose their memories, like, right?
Spin the bottle.
Spin the bottle. Like, they're not acting
You
like...
mentioned Buffy, I didn't.
Hey, like that.
That's because you talked about it 7 times.
Yeah, but I also
in
love
the
that
chat.
episode. I love that episode. Like, that's how you do amnesia episodes. This is just, it doesn't work. Like, it's acted poorly, and I don't want to say lazy writing, because you could be a good writer and miss, but just the writing on this one was a miss for trying to make these characters seem like they aren't who they are, because they still felt exactly like who they're supposed to be. Sorry,
Yeah.
I ranted and I took your spot. MC, keep going.
Oh, I was done.
Hawk.
Yeah, this just didn't work. It's like we said, this is 2 episodes mashed together in that, and like, memory loss episodes are hard enough to pull off, and that, it's like TNG like had a couple, and it's just there was one good one and then one really bad one, I remember.
Yeah.
This just didn't seem to work, and the worst part of it was Luke, the guy who was supposed to be kind of like their resource there, and that, and he just was so repetitive and boring. I just really wanted him to go away, and that's really
He
bad.
doesn't remember. That's why he's repetitive.
Yeah, I know he does. Yeah, exactly. But like, and what really bothered me is that I really like that actor, Reed Birney, in that.
He's a great actor. I like him a lot.
He's just one of those great character actors you've seen in like a lot of stuff. He's super good. He's just so boring, and as I said, he was so repetitive. His function in this episode just was not clear to me at all.
I never bought it.
No, we have our work. We have purpose. We're good.
You cut the wood. It's like, shut the fuck up. I don't cut the wood. Listen, La'ad actually saying, no, fuck that. Like, I just want to fight. Like, actually was like, girl, I'm with you. Like, fuck this guy. Like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna kill the god. And I was like, and that's the spirit. Let's go. Bells riot.
That's what yes.
And one more thing. It's like, okay, yeah, they did the thing with the tattoos and the totems and that, right?
Oh my god.
But these are people who lose their memory every single night and that. Like, they, did you guys ever watch Memento and that? That guy had himself covered with tattoos.
Yes, great movie. Also, how you do memory loss.
I kept saying, why are they going Memento? Why are they not going Memento? Why are they not writing down shit and like recording themselves? Like, dude, this is that easy. Like, I don't know.
50 First Dates.
Yeah.
She has to watch the video every day.
That's right.
But also, like I said, this has been going on for thousands of years. Like, at that point, they would not have totems or write stuff down because their society would just like not have any value on just
well some of them remember. Everybody that has like a something protecting their head, the aluminum hat.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, like the
remember.
tinfoil hats are totally different, but like it's such weird world building.
It was just he was so complacent about the whole thing, and that, well, these are the ones that got the ones in the castle. They do the planning for us, and that,
like the fact that he kept on saying that they were blessed for it, right, Hawk? Like,
they're not.
No, you're not
blessed, and I don't believe that you actually feel that you're
bunch
blessed.
Of anarchists here.
Yeah.
And I'm the French in here. Incredible.
Exactly. I also should note that I'm a little biased in this episode because I just finished Severance, which is an amazing show about memory.
Yes.
And like that, it was done
Welcome
so
to the
well.
Club.
Yeah. So I'm done.
I gotta read Eric Summers' comment. 51st Star Date's more like it.
Wah, wah.
Yes, love it. Giraffe.
So it has all the good thing from a 60s episode, and God knows I love TOS episode where they're dumb as fuck, and I'm like here for it. But it's a different kind of TV. Like making a TOS episode didn't cost what making a Strange New Worlds episode cost. Just like FYI. Most of them were like drinking from morning to evening, smoking 15 pack of cigarettes.
Dude, it's
like
so
somebody told me like TOS was done on like $13 and a bag of Coke, and that's kind of true.
Yeah.
And so I'm like game for TOS because I'm watching these with a bit of like, that was what TV was. And I'm like, when an episode, and I think that what they were doing a TOS episode, and I'm just like, if I want to watch TOS, I'll watch TOS.
It also wasn't a good TOS episode.
No. Yeah.
I don't know. I like stupid episodes of TOS. Like, listen, I love Spock's brain. For me, it was Spock's brain. It was Spock's brain level of whatever, like, and I'm not mad at it, but I'm mad at the fact that Strange New World was supposed to give us backstories on everything we had in TOS, and here they just do TOS. So the first warning is when they get in the cage, and I think it's Mbenga who says, "It's a cage." I lost my mind. I laughed so bad. I'm like, oh, they had to put the word. We had this game when I was like a teacher when we're doing like class councils and stuff, and it was forever, and we each gave each other a stupid words that we had to place during the meeting. And I feel like they had, you need to put the cage word in that episode because it's the episode from the cage, and so it became, it's a cage. Lost my mind. The forgetting lost my mind. The totem lost my mind. Like, I kept laughing, being like, what the hell? And bro, seriously, I have one problem, and they need to stop doing this. It's like, oh, they're stuck in a primitive culture of Bronze Age because they don't have any memory. No, a culture is not better than another. A culture is not more advanced than another. And it's not because you have limited brain power that you're stuck in the Bronze Age. Like, dude, I was like, that's why I have a problem when they do stuff like this. Because then it's kind of like this trope from the 60s. And again, like, dude, okay, I had fun in the idea that I was like, what the fuck am I watching? But Lon 1010 wanting to murder the god, I was
1010.
like, yes.
Yep.
Like, eat the rich. Death to the system. But the thing that was like, for me, the most like weird is that like they acted forgetting, like, you would say anybody in the street, like, okay, act like you forgot who you are.
Oh my God.
Oh, what
On
am I
point.
doing? Oh, who are you? And it's like, dude, like, it's like when you say like to somebody, act like you're crazy. I'm crazy. No, that's not crazy. People don't act like that. People that have memory loss usually are very silent because they're like,
And really fucking scared.
what the fuck is going on? And there were like so many times where like, you all are talking too much for people that realize that they don't remember shit. And it's one of the episodes that I classify in, I have like blocks of like classific categories for Star Trek episode. This one is like, everybody should freak way much the fuck up. Like, everybody should freak way more than that. They're all way too cool for like forgetting everything. I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, there's a lot of there's like tropes that are okay for the 60s, but again, like, doesn't work so much well now. But to be honest, I laughed a lot, but not in a good way.
Yeah. One of I already said everything I wanted to say when MC mentioned it and I went off. So I kind of already shot my load vigorously. I hated it. I hated the memory loss episode. Like, the acting was just like I said already. Pike was Pike, La'an was La'an, and Mbanga was Mbanga, and they were just playing like they forgot. And Luke was just boring. I didn't buy it. Meanwhile, High Lord Zacharias is nowhere to be seen. Like, this just completely like wasted potential just makes no sense to me. It bothers me.
I have a question though. Don't you think there were more scenes? Because it feels like there were more scenes. And
dude, I don't know. I would
like,
hope
I feel
so.
a missing part of the stories, Like, there's no way they didn't shoot anything like in the castle with the guy plotting. Like, I'm just like, it's weird.
Eric's back. He's in the chat. I always talk a lot when I lose my memories. I blame the legalized marijuana. Indeed. I couldn't. And then, and listen, this isn't meant as an insult, but I see so many people in Giraffe, you just talked about this, saying, well, this episode really like encapsulates like, a really good classic TOS episode. Like you said, if I want to watch TOS, I went and watched The Cage to get some information today. Like, I'll go and watch TOS. I'm watching Strange New Worlds. It's a show in 2023, even though it's supposed to take place in that era of Trek. We're in a modern time. You can do new ideas and have fresh ideas. And this wasn't one of them. It just didn't.
And they did
work.
very good TOS episodes.
Yes, they have done really
like,
good
they
TOS
did
episodes.
like Lift Us Were Suffering Cannot Rage is a TOS episode in itself. Like Elysian Kingdom is a TOS episode for me. And even Disco did a lot of like magic to make the Sandesmiths go
so
mad.
TOS.
That's not a TOS episode.
That is very
what
TOS.
that is.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's different. The writing is different, and that's it.
Speaking about someone though who did play losing their memory really well, I'm Erica Ortegas and I fly the ship. Let's get to that, right? We learn Erica early on. We've known for a year about this. Doesn't get to go on the away mission after Spock ruins the party and finds more details about the debris field in orbit. And as below, so above. The entire crew are afflicted by the same memory loss as Pike and Benga and Lon, leading to no one being able to man or fly the ship. Even Spock. Okay, this is. Even Spock putting in all the pads trick doesn't work, which doesn't make any sense because Luke on the planet goes all the, the deep stuff, like, breathing and reading and things like that, like you remember. But then the minute that he gives the pads and they need to read something, Spock literally says, I can't read this. But you just said you could read. Anyway,
I have an explanation for that.
Okay.
I actually had a theory too.
He's operating in a foreign language.
That was mine.
Oh, so it's not in Vulcan.
He could read it if it was in Vulcan.
He could read it if it was in Vulcan. Like operating in a foreign language, and I say that very often, is like taking a lot of like not like autonomy. I have to like consciently think about what I'm gonna like, not what I'm speaking, but when I read or when I read too long or if it's too technical, like I don't listen to screeners because there's no subtitles. Like he's operating in a foreign language.
But
I
that
think,
doesn't
for
explain
writing and
everybody
reading.
else.
I think they forget that they have the freaking pad. How are you gonna remember to read a pad if you don't remember
to be fair,
that?
like he
I-
handed
that
to her,
is
it's
true.
on her console.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I mean, if they had recorded
It's-
themselves, like, and an automatic message that would like come on, all the time. Hey, I am that person. Listen
Right.
to me. Do that.
well, that's what
like, I
happens.
mean, that's
right?
how it
Yeah, and,
happens,
and that's what happens. Like,
Yeah, if they just like give me a pad and then I forget everything, I'm gonna forget you gave me a freaking pad
Yeah.
and that I need to read it. I mean, I already do that with my full brain operating
yeah.
most of the time. So
And Chris is right too, though. Ortegas was shown Spock's pad, and they just couldn't read it. So there's like something missing there.
Oh, sorry. Michael Kwan in the chat pointed out Spock's lack of reading was said to be linked to his learning difficulties growing up. Referenced. in
Yeah, he's,
Discovery.
True, he's
you know,
dyslexic. Yeah, true. Okay, fair. So as Erica forgets who she is, the ship is bombarded with asteroids. She's freaking out. She's scared, as you would be when you don't know who you are and you're on a ship that's maybe minutes from getting destroyed. She did really well here. She asks it to stop and starts talking to the computer, who tells Erica who she is and keeps repeating it. So Erica keeps going, I am Erica Ortegas and I fly the ship. And just like an awesome scene. With that Erica Ortega's confidence we know and love, she goes to the bridge, does some fancy ass flying that I don't completely buy, but I'll take it, with Spock by her side, and gets the Enterprise out of danger. Thoughts on Ortega's getting to shine here, MC?
Okay. The scene of her, I'm Erica Ortegas and I fly the ship. It does feel very triumphant, and I do appreciate what they did. But that being said, this was sold to us as the Mortegas episode.
yeah,
And
true.
frankly, I feel more Jesus, because
Yes.
the whole point of having an episode focused on Ortegas is to get to know her. And the only thing I find out about Ortegas in this episode is that she is Erica Ortegas and she flies the ship. And
Yeah.
I already knew that.
Yeah.
I
Fair.
don't agree,
So, yeah,
but I will wait my turn.
Yeah, it is so frustrating that we learn absolutely nothing about her personally, because I am fascinated by Ortegas. I want to understand more about like this personality clash between her and Spock. I want to have an episode where they're like stuck in a cave together.
I think that
so
was that
they have to, like,
episode.
work things
I
out.
think that was that episode. They were stuck together on the Enterprise. That is the episode.
But the thing is, like, we didn't have them working out their issues because they didn't remember their issues, other than the fact that she felt vaguely angry at him. Like, no, this is not enough. This is not. The thing that's frustrating for me is because yes, I do enjoy like just like a adventure for adventure's sake, but I think storytelling needs to serve the characters. Like, what does this journey mean for the characters. And that's probably one of the reasons why I don't like Amnesia episodes too much, because what character journey do the characters go on? And in this, I don't feel like we get any real journey for these characters because they don't know who they are. And we already knew that she flew the ship.
Yeah.
And so,
I want to answer Michael Kwan's question real quick. Apart from the teaser where she denied going to the planet, where was this sold as the Ortegas episode? Well, at the panel where they showed this. She was at the panel, or she was on the video, wherever I forget where they release this, but they were like, yeah, we know you want Ortegas and you're going to get Ortegas. And speaking of Ortegas, here's this clip with Ortegas and it's going to be about Ortegas. And then it wasn't. So that's where they established
and
this
also,
was going to be a Ortegas episode.
Based on how season 1 was structured, where you basically had like 5 Spock episodes and 4 Pike episodes, and then a couple episodes where like 1 episode for each character.
Yeah.
Do you really think they're going to give us another episode with Ortegas in the center stage? They are not.
No, probably not. Yeah. Hawk.
Yeah. Paramount looking at you right now. This does not count as the Ortegas episode. Nope. In comparison to last week, like with an entire episode of Leon.
Yeah.
It was such a brilliantly crafted episode. And there were so many layers to her, and this, like the central message I think they were trying to push is that, it's like she's been piloting for so long. It's like second nature, muscle memory to her and that. And, when your memory is gone, that's such a useful skill that, she's so good at piloting that she can do it in her sleep, basically,
Yeah, try driving a car on muscle memory. Let's see.
It doesn't work, right?
Let's see what happens.
And even if she's good, even with, like with this, piloting the ship and that, it's like, would she still remember to use the phasers at that point?
Dude,
when
right?
she ran into a problem? I know there's issues, and yet the weird thing is that Melissa Navia elevates herself and her character above the actual written dialogue and part for her, because I still thought she was great.
She was great.
She was wonderful. But but you're hitting it on the head, right? The issue with this too is that she's still, even though she's saying she's Eric Ortega, she doesn't know who she is, but she's using all of her lingo. When Spock's like, I believe that you could do this, and she goes, abso-freaking-lutely. She says that when she doesn't have her memory back. Like, that's Ortega's language. That's not someone who lost their memory language. Like, sorry.
I know. No, like, really, that's all I've got to say on that. Like, we need, this doesn't count, Paramount.
Agreed. Yep.
Get back to work.
Giraffe.
Okay, so I'm first of all, I've like what did they forget or what didn't they forget? Like at the beginning, I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like they should remember this and that. And I was like, you know what, whatever. It's a memory loss episode. Like some forget stuff. Like I forget stuff all the time and I have not like memory loss. So I think I'm just gonna say that depending on who they are, they forget more or less. They remember stuff or not. Like whatever, that I'll pass on like the technicalities of memory loss and what they should remember or how they should speak, like whatever. But I really liked Ortegas, to be honest. I think we learn stuff about Ortegas. I think that it's very clearly said again that she has a clear problem with the Vulcans. And I'm really interested in that because first there was the like, disappointment and like she's annoyed by Spock like very clearly but he's commanding officer, like she's a lieutenant. They're both lieutenants. They're both
equals.
Lieutenants. Oh, they're both lieutenants. Okay. Yeah. But like very clearly she has like an annoyance for him that is like not totally normal, like on your job. And then the moment where she's like, I don't want to talk to you, I don't feel safe with you, and she leaves, I was like, holy shit, what happened? And I know it's not Spock. It's most probably she has something happened, and she knows about Lirpas,
and she has scars from Lirpas.
Happened.
Yeah, she has scars from Lirpas.
Yeah, so I'm like, what the hell did she do that she ended up in such a like a crazy? But then we know like there are Vulcans in Picard that are like like bandits kind of. So I'm like, I want to know, and that like teased me so bad to know why she didn't feel safe. And, not feeling safe with somebody, even somebody that you trust and it's fine. Like that person is not going to hurt you, but having that deep feeling because of past trauma that you're not safe. safe for that person and working with that person all the time on the bridge. Like, God damn, Erica, what happened? I really like also the fact that when she goes to her quarter and the ship starts to rock, she dead panics. And that's again
Yes.
back to like the Klingon Wars. Like, what the hell happened to her? Because that shows that she has so much trauma and so much like hurts and on the surface, under the surface, and that she's still like that composed, funny, on top of her job. And I'm like, girl, yes, like
We've
I
compared her
feel-
to Starbuck before. This is very like Cara Thrace level fucked upness.
So
Yeah,
my idea
it's-
is that during the Klingon War, they were supposed to be saved by a Vulcan ship, and the
Oh,
Vulcans were
nice.
like the need of the many, and they abandoned her. And that's why
We
she
need to
fucking
have a
hates
Klingon War flashback episode.
Goddamn right we
Vulcans.
do.
And for me, that's I try like to come up with other stories, but you know that's something that totally it happened during Second World War in France.
Yeah.
Like for example, we're
Yeah,
left
yeah.
by the British being like, we're gonna save all people and like bye. And I'm like, I can totally see her being like abandoned in a ship in disarray because the Vulcans were like to the loo. And then she doesn't feel safe with a Vulcan that she considered being somebody that will sacrifice her for the need of the many. And I love this. And I was like so into it.
Yeah.
Sure, we don't learn more than this. And then like she managed to use phases. But I always suck her for it. Like I love Mason Navia. She's so good. And the moment where she's panicking and she looks like a little girl, you know, like, and it was so good and so scary. And I love that the captain, the computer of the ship is what saves the ship.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
Before it's funny that you mentioned about like the humor and that. Yeah, she is one of the funniest people in the ship and that. And it's like the funniest people are usually the people who are most traumatized.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I'm hilarious.
Here's of a clown.
No, but and yeah, somebody who Yum Yum podcast is saying like Erica and Detmer, and yeah, like I don't know what they're doing to their helmsmen, but like helmswomen. I mean, I like helmsperson. They need to better care of them.
Sure
but
do.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like this. The only thing I'm gonna say again is like, why the hell all these very smart people cannot remember to record themselves?
Yeah.
That pissed me off so bad. But again, I'm like, okay, whatever. And one last thing, when Spock goes, I believe you, I lost my mind again. I laughed so bad at that line. I'm Eric Ortegas. I fly the ship. That's what I'm supposed to do. I believe you. Dead.
They can't all be bangers like this.
Dead.
I have so many issues with this because I like it. I like it, right? Like I like that she's like the one person in the entire episode who like when they don't know what the fuck is going on, acts like they don't know what the fuck is going on. That's really good. But I'm sorry, like I just cannot buy that she goes to the helm. I could buy that she could fly the ship basics, right? Like do some juking and jiving, get where they need to be. But to thread the needle through an asteroid and then thread the needle again using phasers, I'm just like I'm really good at suspending my disbelief, and I couldn't.
And I mean,
the
like,
line.
And I mean,
Fully
like
automatic
Chapel,
spaceship. Yeah.
Chapel says so. She's like, I've dressed a wound 1,000 times. I could keep doing it, but I can't perform complicated surgery.
And this is complicated pilot surgery, which she did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't. So I liked it, but I hated it. So let's wrap it up on Rigel VII. Storming the castle is what Pike does with M'Benga. La'an is not well. Man, I think those were your exact words in the chat. La'an is not well, Giraffe wrote. He confronts Zach. Guess what? Zach's back, guys. He just wasn't in the episode the entire hour. Who he doesn't remember at this point and demands his memories back, beating the living shit out of him in the process. Being inside the magic castle, no pun intended, his memories return right before he's about to kill Zach and says, I'm not going to kill you, Zach. Just a weird ass moment.
All that to throw him in a Starfleet prison.
Right.
Come on.
The dude does not deserve to be thrown in prison. Anyway, everyone gets their memories back. What did we think about the conclusion here? What's the message about this episode, and how does it relate, if at all, to the Odyssey MC?
Oh my God.
I know.
Don't drag me here.
Oh, no.
I dragged you.
I mean, what is the point of bringing up this massive part of Pike's history? Because we know this is a big deal. This is from a meta side. This is the first thing we ever found out about Pike. This traumatic experience on Rigel VII. And we know how deeply it actually did affect him because they, talked about it in the cage. They talked about it in this. And we never, we don't actually get to, have, the conversation between these two. We don't get to have Pike say to Zach just how fucking broken he was. No, because he doesn't have his memories. And so it's basically just Pike showing off that, Pike has, oh, I'm the captain.
Yeah.
I will protect my crew no matter what. And and Zach just crumbles at the end of it. Nothing, it's just don't kill me. I don't understand what happened here. It basically just felt like they, I guess we got to end it somewhere. So right here.
Hawk.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'd like to focus a bit on Zach, in as underused as he was, and that this was still not a great way of fleshing out or ending out the character. And that it starts out with Pike, like it felt like I was watching The Dark Knight when, with the Batman and the Joker in the jail cell and that, he's pounding on him and he's laughing at him and that. And then all of a sudden it's like, he's like, wait, don't kill me. And that he just completely crumples. It's just like, okay, which direction do you want this character to go? Is he so angry at Pike and that, he's mocking him in his attempts to try and get his memory back, but then he's so afraid of dying and that, if it was me, I'd be screaming at Pike and that, go ahead, do it. You already did it once and that, leaving me here 5 years ago and that.
I would,
right?
Yeah, I would actually take it a step further. How fucking bold would it have been to turn the tables of this scene, right? Let's say they keep the memory shit. Okay, fine, right? But it's not Pike beating the shit out of Zach. It's Zach beating the shit out of Pike. And as Zach is about to kill Pike, it's reversed, right? Pike remembers and just breaks down. And he's like, I'm so sorry. And they have a fucking conversation.
Yes.
That's how you...
I know.
All of this.
It really felt like it was just a rush to the end, personally, in that. Does this relate to the Odyssey? I don't know. I mean, every Star Trek series is always kind of reference the Odyssey. And that. If it's Kirk, or if it's Picard, if it's Janeway, and that there's always some sort of a reference in the Odyssey. And that this one a little more directly, mainly through the title and that Lotus Eaters. But even that's so confusing in that because, from what I understand of the references to the Lotus Eaters, and that there was a bliss in they willingly ate fruit and that made them forget, and it's like they were basically checking out. It's not like in this case these people are this was a condition forced on them by just a big giant comet that landed on there thousands of years ago, and that so does it relate to the Odyssey? No.
Yeah. Ben in the chat writes, my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and so I know what memory loss looks like up close. The writers missed this.
Oh, 1,000%.
I've had two family
too.
members who had dementia, and Hawk, going through it.
Yeah, my grandfather also, and that's again, people are very silent, or they're mad, or they're angry, or they're scared. Losing your memory is not a tell me what's going on. Come on. But anyway, okay, so my turn. First of all, Luke, our friend Luke, who doesn't want to remember. Have you ever met anybody that doesn't want to remember? And he's like, I feel the loss. I know I hurt.
Such bullshit.
I don't want to know what. I was like, the fuck? You don't want to know why? Imagine feeling or remembering, kind of feeling that you lost your child and being like, I don't want to know. What? You know what? What? And especially there's always I feel it's a very human constant to want to be remembered or to remember the people that passed. I don't know. So it was and then he says that to Wu, he said that to Mbenga. And I'm like, they're going to do something with this because he lost his child. And he remembers, he's the only one remembering that he lost his child. Like, oh my God, it's like the giant button in front of their face. Like, smash it. I'm going to be here for this. No, no, we don't talk about this. And I was like, what? I'm like, he could say like, oh, I feel the same loss, and that's why I want to remember, I want to know. And then he remembers, and then, you know, we see, I don't know, like, do freaking something. It's speaking about grief and losing people and remembering people. You can do that? So I was like, first I was like, oh my God, come on. Why? That's why I'm saying I feel they're like missing scenes.
Yeah.
I feel like there are pieces that are missing in the story.
And this episode was an hour.
Yeah,
it was. It was long. Yeah. And I'm sorry, can't you hear Mbenga saying it's like remembering is the only way to keep them alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then he storms the castle. He's like, I'm going to take back my memory. Lost my mind again. Like, there were so many lines. I was
You know there's no magic fucking box. Like, it's so...
So I was like, sure, let's go, boo. Let's go. And then like Omega explained his leg hurts, but he can't stand on it. But I was like, too much words. Let's go. Storm the freaking castle. Why are you telling me about your ankle? Like, they're like choices that like where they tell you stuff that you don't care about, and then they don't tell you stuff that like very clearly they should be talking about. So I'm like, okay. And then he storms the castle. Zach is finally here. Zach is playing the crazy, like he's playing the, you know, the crazy king, you know, like King Lear. We see it's like a freaking crown, and I'm like, why the fuck not? Let's go.
Yeah.
It crumbles like again a 60s episode. Like there's a lot of like, you know, and I think that, you know, I would have liked that what his face Zach somehow get one of his they're like a way to communicate with Enterprise and get himself beamed back, you know, and left them there on the planet. That would have been such a fucking good story. I'd be here for that. Like saying, no, they're killed. They were killed. They freed me, but they were killed in action. Let's go. Let's bail. You know. So yeah, King Lear Zach crumbles. There's like this good thing with like Pike, like blah blah blah. Then all that to put his ass in prison, I suppose. What else we were talking about? I forgot.
Odyssey.
Yeah, fuck that. Like,
Yeah,
oh my God. No.
Yeah.
Like, I was super excited about like among the Lotus Eater. So first of all, let me be a nerd like for a second to change.
Yes, please.
So first of all, Lotus Eater is a very bad English translation of the Greek. The Lotus Eater are not eating lotus. They're eating persimmon. Okay, so a lotus in Greek is a persimmon. And the persimmon, everybody, that's that fruit, right? You call it persimmon, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, persimmon are very sweet, and in Greece, persimmon very fast become alcoholic. Like you can get buzzed by eating them from the tree. So the lotus eater, lotus phagos, are the guys who eat that persimmon, and they get drunk. And because there's an abundance of like these fruits, they just like they're bums. They're like. They're drunk all the time, and they're woo, 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 woo. And then they forget who they are. But it's also a metaphor for like the crew of the Odyssey not wanting to go back because they suffered a shit ton, and they're like, you know what? These people have food. They're happy. They're cool. They like, and what is face? Ulysses, loses like most of his crew to the Lotus Eater. Like 90% of his people stays back at that time. It's like one of the first story in the Odyssey, and it's very bad because he was supposed to bring back these people. So there's this idea of like, I'm reading way more into it than the people that wrote that episode, by the way. Bringing back the people that you forgot there, you know, that for me it would have mean more about Zach and what is face Pike going back and getting back his crew that he left there to people who forgot. So for example, if you really want to do the Lotus Eater, like Zach is there and he forgot who he is, but Pike recognizes him and wants to bring him back because he needs to bring back his crew. And that would have been the Lotus Eater for me, Right now, it's just somebody that read the Odyssey in like 5th grade and like vaguely remember that the Lotus Eater is about some guys that forget who they are and like have memory problem and then let's go, which is not the core of that story in the Odyssey. So personally, as a classicist and an ancient Greek teacher, you didn't know that, I was super excited for it because I'm so here. I did actually a whole recording with the Where's Bev about antiquity and mythology in Star Trek, if you want to go listen to that. And I was real excited about it. But then basically it just, again, very 60s or very even 80s, interpretation of stuff, which in itself, like, didn't piss me off so bad that I'm just like, God damn, we have only 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And you
that's
give
the
me a
kicker.
meh episode. I was like, you could have given me an Ortegas episode. You could have given me a Chapel episode. You could have given me we already had an Una episode, I suppose, but I don't know. Like, I like didn't go anywhere. So yeah. I was not Oh yeah, This Side of Paradise. No, please. Like, This Side of Paradise is such a shitty episode. But yeah. Yeah, I do agree that it's a reference to this, but I think wait, This Side of Paradise. Oh no, This Side of Paradise is the one with Spock, right?
I believe
It's Layla
yeah.
Kalomi.
Yeah. This side, no, it's not a shitty episode. I really like this episode. I'm confusing it with the one with the Native American.
Oh yeah,
Right,
that's horrible.
Paradise Syndrome.
Yeah.
Paradise Syndrome, yeah. Which I hate. This Side of Paradise. Yeah, but This Side of Paradise, sorry, I'm gonna answer that. I know we're running late or
It's
whatever.
fine.
This Side of Paradise really explores Spock in a way that Strange New World has not been doing.
Yeah.
This story with Layla is so interesting because suddenly it unlocks a world past for the episode, for the character, that people around him didn't know. And you know what? They managed to do that without like I don't know, hurting him, without it's just getting this like, basically he's high all the time. And I'm here for high Spock.
Yeah.
He's still himself, but it's unlocking like his whole like thing about him. And he remembers, but he just doesn't give a shit, which is way more Lotus Eater in a way.
Mhm.
Yeah. Than
Yeah,
this one.
it's the idea of that conscious choice and that, it's like to pursue like, another life away from your cares and troubles and that versus something that's just done to you, by an asteroid or environmental effect.
I want to go off of what Giraffe said about the Lotus Eater. What if this episode, instead of having like this, you lose your memory every fucking day, what if just like once, like as soon as you're on this planet, for an extended amount of time, you start to lose your memory. Away team comes down, finds Zach, he's, made him, he could still be king. He could just be like an important member of the society. He's got a family, no memories of Starfleet. And now Pike has got the, the issue. Like, what is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to, to tell him like who he is? Like, because
the
he's,
Orville episode, but done
thank
better.
you. I was literally about to say that.
I have not. I've only seen a couple episodes of the Orville. So, but yeah, no. Instead of, because I mean, like the whole like losing your memory like every day, like that's.
Yeah. And this is what I want to say. I want to take it a step further than what Giraffe said. You have 10 episodes and you give me a meh episode. No, you gave me a bad episode. Like, this is a bad episode because me, Giraffe, MC, Hawk, no bullshit. Maybe we're blowing smoke up all our asses. I don't care. I think we all gave a better episode idea than what we got on the screen. I think there are about 1,000 other
don't
ways.
Listen to me, Star Trek. Don't listen to me, please. Don't listen to me.
I
don't want that weight on my shoulder.
I
Yes,
think
you do.
there are about 1,000 different better ways to do this episode, and this wasn't it. And I think it was just a huge miss. And listen, I said it on Twitter. I'll say it on the pod. I think this is the biggest miss of new Trek that we've gotten so far out of all the series. I just it did not work for me.
Rosetta was pretty bad.
Rosetta was bad too, but I think this was worse. Let's get to the end of the episode. Pancakes back on the menu once again. Pike and Battelle get back together. Pike calls himself an ass. I love them together very much. That's me personally. I adore them, so this makes me happy. Is this the right call, MC?
I think they're super cute together. I like Pike with girlfriend. I always think that the captains need to have more steady romantic partners. I want to say that the only one was Cisco, really. That being said, based on the trailers and kind of from this episode, I'm really, really worried for Battelle.
Yeah.
She's gonna die.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're going to fridge her.
Oh, I
and
want
it's
to
gonna be
preface by
awful.
this that I don't know that
We don't
she's
know.
gonna
Yeah.
die.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we do not know. We have no idea. But I
but
think she's
that's
gonna be
how I
corn
feel.
food.
Oh,
She's
she's
gonna
gonna
be
be
corn
corn
food.
food. Yeah, yeah. I think she's gonna die.
And I'm really mad about that because I like Battelle. And also, no more fridging women.
No more
But
fridging
they-
women.
No more fridging women, but it feels like that's what they're building up to, that they're getting their relationship really tight so that it'll hurt Pike when it happens.
To which I say they better not fucking hurt Daddy again, because, like, come on, dude. This dude's going through enough shit. I hope they don't do this. It would be such a mistake. Anyway.
Yeah.
You know they're totally killing her, right?
Oh, no, I do.
They
I
are.
do.
They're absolutely.
Like they're all everything is here. Like they're placing
Oh,
all
no.
the little pieces to be like, no, she died.
They
Oh, yeah.
might as well say she's got one day to retirement.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and make her
you
wear
just got
red shirts on the
promoted to
planet.
lieutenant junior grade. Hawk.
I did like them back together. I do like them as a couple. I like Battelle. I like Pike. I did like, he said I'm an ass and that. And it's like we said at the beginning, and that don't make it about yourself, and that, she's going through something, and that just be there for her, and that if she wants to break it up because she thinks it's going to hurt her career, let her then, but don't, take the initiative and do it for her, and that. So glad they made the right call on that. Yeah, she's probably going to get killed. She's probably going to be corn food and that. But we don't know.
Correct.
Yeah. Good ending for the episode, and that if that part might be the only reference to the Odyssey, that makes sense, and that him guided back to a true love.
Draft?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I think they're good together. Let's go. Like fully automated, socialist, no money utopia where people are happy having sex together.
And
We
two beautiful people are having
grown
beautiful sex
adults.
together. Yeah.
would know what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, party. Like it gives for me, it's giving Book and Michael.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah,
mhm.
smart, beautiful, good people together. I'm here to see that.
Mhm.
Yay. And remember, we did not like her. She did a very good comeback because we're like, death to battle.
Yeah.
She gave up Una. Like, we're
Yeah.
suckers. But she's so 1,000% gonna get killed at one point or another. I see it like season finale.
Yeah.
I see it season finale.
Yeah.
Last episode, she
Dude,
died, she
we've seen
sacrificed
a
herself.
destroyed
her on a planet,
Constitution
yeah.
class in the previews, right? That ain't the
Yeah, I did
I
Enterprise.
did not
That's the
remember that,
Cayuga.
but yes,
That's
sure.
the
And
Cayuga.
there's also a
She's
her
on the
on a
planet.
planet, and then the Gorn are coming down. So yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
she
no, I
actually
think-
survives and the rest of the ship gets destroyed above. Ooh. Mm.
Ooh.
I think
A
he's
man
gonna
can
have
dream.
to deal. He's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah.
With her being gone in like different ways, but anyway,
Yeah. I don't think she's going to be killed on the ship because we've got to have that moment where Pike is holding
Yeah.
her. Like,
Oh,
come on.
yeah, yeah, or like she's like on a visual and like everything like
Yes.
cuts.
Yeah.
And
Ensign
they're gonna
Rose style.
blame the Romulans or something like this. Let's go.
I love them together. I already said that. I love the way that, like, okay, so this is why I'm giving this somewhat of I won't say a decent score, but a score. I love how the scene is blocked, how they're both standing very far apart from each other, and as they each say a line, one gets closer and closer until smooches. It's a beautifully blocked scene. The cinematography was gorgeous. It's one of the bright spots about this episode. Give me my bagel, please. I love them.
I like the fact that she gave him like a little thing. Also.
Yeah.
And you see that she's very important to him because he remembers that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's nice.
It's so cute.
Can we just say that justice for Zag? Zag.
Justice for Zag.
Hashtag
Yeah.
justice for
Mhm.
Zag. Get that man out of a bridge.
Dude, let's
like-
get what's her name back for as his lawyer for his court
Oh,
martial.
Nira.
Nira.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Any final thoughts? I think we
Meh.
summed this one. Yeah, go ahead.
No, meh.
Oh, I
that's
thought you
it.
said may I. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, meh.
I'm trying to think, but I think we're like talking
I think we're
about
good.
a lot of things.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Let's rate this one, guys, out of 10 foil hats. Who the order was so Giraffe, you'll go first. What is your rating?
Oh wow.
And chat, let us know as
Don't
well.
like going first
I
now.
was not ready.
She forgot she had to do a rating.
Yeah, I don't know because there are things that I really like and things that I really hate. So I'm gonna give it a 5. It's in the middle.
Yeah,
It's
fair.
an okay episode.
Hawk?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. It was a 5. It was exactly in the middle. There's some things I liked, and a lot I didn't, and it just felt like 2 episodes combined into one, and that it wanted to be special, but it just couldn't pull it off. So I give it a 5.
MC.
I'm not as generous as you guys. I'm giving it a 3. Giving it a 3 double.
Wait, I thought I was gonna be the
Whoa.
lowest score. Shit. Oh,
Don't like the structure. Don't like what they did with the characters. I give it a point for what it did with Ortegas, and I'll give it a point for what it did for Pike and Battelle, and a point for being a Star Trek episode.
there you go. All right.
Okay.
Over in the chat, Ensign Row Aaron gives it a 7 out of 10. Yum Yum Pod gives it a 5. Eric Summer a 6.5. Meh. Colin D gives it a 7 out of 10. Michael Kwan 7 out of 10. Tinfoil hats. Ricard Picardo 6.5 out of 10. Special ore hats. Tara a 7.5. I thought I was going to be the lowest score. I guess not. I give this one a 4 out of 10. It sucked, but there was some good in it. There
Yeah.
was some decent stuff.
I'll be the bitch.
No, hey, I still think we could. I think
Oh.
we're all the bitch.
Listen,
but-
you can give them like a point for like throwing a rock, like in Picard,
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
like throwing a rock.
yeah. Sure.
Like they found that thing, that asteroid, when it hit the planet, didn't blow up. It stayed all together, and then they could like just pick it up
Mm-hmm.
and then throw it into space
Mhm.
because that's how science works.
Sure
guys.
does. Yep. Yeah.
Sci-fi shit. They're doing sci-fi shit.
Yeah. 4 out of 10. Let's do the subspace to poll and mailbag.
Shipwide, Cadet Aurora.
Aye, sir.
Who wants the poll tonight?
I'll take it because I've not taken it forever.
That's true. Hit it.
Because I never have the outline open, and I'm saying that while I'm like,
glad you
looking
could
for the
finally
thing,
admit
and they're like, I got it. Subspace, T-poll, and mailbag. So we asked Twitter what's left of it. You can follow us on Blue Sky, on Threads. That's all. Yeah, I
Follow
suppose.
us on all the things on
Yeah,
Strange New Pod.
Instagram. Let's go. What they thought about this one, and this is what they had to say. Okay, the first one is already like 29% said Rigelicious. 44% said Totemtastic. 15% said there was an episode. 12% said Rotten Tomatoes. 29%. That's like the lowest.
That's I think
score,
the lowest
That's
for
low.
subspace
Mhm.
to poll we've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's like
Just
going
for
back
Strange
to
New Worlds, or
no,
for...
I think like lowest
forever.
we've ever had. Like even going to
Yeah.
Picard season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giraffe took the poll, so we'll go to me because we'll go in the order. So I will read Matt Harker's mailbag. This week's episode made me unexpectedly reflective. No matter how much certain life experiences have sucked, they still brought me to this point in my life. This week's episode brought that in a sharp focus for me. Only great TV really makes you think. Only the best TV goes beyond entertainment and leads you to reflect. Well done once again. MC with Michael Kwans, please.
Michael Kwan wrote, Among the Lotus Eaters is a good episode of Star Trek, but after 3 high-energy episodes, this one may have toned things down too much. Reminiscent of This Side of Paradise, limiting the crew by taking their memories, stripping the crew to their cores. But we didn't learn anything new. Pike's a leader entwined with Battelle. Mbenga is a healer with combat skills. Ortegas is a pilot. I enjoyed the episode, but came away with less insight than the earlier episodes gave.
I can't wait to tell my doctor, are you a healer?
Yes. Hawk, can you take Eric the Reds, please?
Eric the Red wrote, "This one was good, but not great. A classic TOS style episode updated. Lots of good moments. I definitely enjoyed the heartfelt moments of Pike Battelle. Also like the costumes and Chapel's new hairstyle.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would give this one a 7.5 or an 8.
Nice. Draft, you take Havens, please.
Heaven wrote, there are very few episodes that I immediately would remove from my active list of rewatchable episodes.
This is very true for Haven,
Oh
by the
my
way.
Mhm.
I actually looked twice to see how much was left in this episode, rating 2 out of 10. And I have to say, Heaven is very right on this. I watched the episode 3 times, and the 3 times I was watching it, I actually ended up like forgetting I was watching it and ended up doing something else. Mostly when Luke was talking, I was like, eh.
Mm.
I know.
And then I was like, oh, damn, wait, we're like 3 scenes later. Let's go back.
Eric
Yeah, that's
does
so
mention
true.
that he revised his score since then in the chat here. He brought it down a whole point. So,
Okay.
yeah. Back to me, Cassie. Cassie wrote, watching this episode felt like I turned on a TOS episode I'd seen before, but don't quite remember the plot of. The episode itself wasn't groundbreaking, but it was comforting in the way seeing your favorite series after a long time away can sometimes be. Like curling up in a cozy blanket you hadn't remembered stuffing in the back of your closet. I liked what it revealed to us about Pike, and visual effects outdid themselves, very true, on the sky shots.
That's true.
Someone actually on Threads mentioned that this was like bad use of the AR wall, which I completely disagree with. I thought the visuals on this
I
episode
saw
were
some
gorgeous.
pictures. So I followed the makeup artist
Yeah.
for Strange New Worlds on, I don't know, Instagram. There's too many things right now. I
Yeah.
don't remember. And she shows like picture of her like doing makeup on set, which
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for. And you see the air wall for like this episode, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Like I really liked it. Yeah.
Yeah. So where was I? Outdid themselves on the sky shots. Like everyone else, I hoped for #Ortegas, but I also know Melissa Navia has described the season as one of the most difficult things she's ever done. I'm grateful we got any scenes with her at all, considering she was experiencing intense grief the entire time she was filming. That is very true. Back to you, MC, with Sean's.
Sean wrote, on the one hand, it felt like a really good TOS episode. On the other, it felt like a really good TOS episode.
It's a great mailbag.
We can end the episode
Yeah,
on
right. Can you take Chris's, please?
Sure. Chris wrote, looks like I'm the weirdo again. Winks in Bajoran security. I enjoyed this episode more than most, apparently. I thought it was exciting and fun and a unique twist on the Starfleet screwed up trope. I like Pike relearning part of his humanity while we have Ortegas just pumping herself up because she will not quit, ever. I had a phaser blasting fun time.
Nice. Yum Yum Pods, please, Giraffe.
Yum Yum Pod wrote, it was perfectly fine, and I enjoyed it more than the last episode. Season 2 hasn't hit for me as well as the first, but I do like that they are taking bigger swings, even if they miss. I won't be writing home about this one, but I wasn't bored or angry with it. And I tend to look at episode like this as well made junk TV, which Trek as a franchise has an abundance of. Finally, Ortegas gets her very own episodes, B-plot. We're 14 episodes in, and by this point, even Mayweather from... it hurts to read that, I'm sorry. Even Mayweather from Enterprise had an episode about them, and I bring this up because I want more time spent on Ortegas, and I hope that they don't become the Mayweather of this series.
Bravo.
Hot take, Mayweather should have been the captain of the Enterprise because he has experience in space when Archer fucking doesn't.
Goddamn right.
Just a Nepo baby. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm. Back to me. NY Rowlight wrote, this is my second most favorite episode of the season behind only Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. As a TOS fan, I liked how they weaved the events mentioned in The Cage. Jeffrey Hunter's Pike is my least favorite, but at least we have a better feel now of why he was thinking of leaving Starfleet after the events of Rigel VII. I was just happy to see more of Pike and Ortegas. Okay. MC with Jedi Cats, please.
Jedi Cat wrote, Among the Lotus Eaters is my second favorite episode of the season so far.
Wait, he said the same mail?
No.
That's-
They said the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I was a bit concerned for a moment.
Yeah. No.
I like how it followed up from The Cage, and it was an interesting commentary on the human condition. I thought there would be more insight into Pike's character and backstory, but I liked the further development of his relationship with Battelle, although I'm now more fearful than ever that she's going to be killed off later this season. It's great to see the entire cast getting to shine. Melissa Navia and Anson Mount were the standouts in this one. My only complaint are the absence of any mention/explanation of the more bestial Kalar from The Cage and the quick resolution at the end, although many Trek episodes are guilty of that.
That is true.
Can I explain the bestial killer while they're not in this episode? Because they're
Yes.
fucking racist.
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
That
Yeah.
is why they
Yeah.
didn't do it. Thank God.
Who's up? Hawk. Is Tara's the last? No, we have a couple more.
No.
No, go ahead.
All right. So Tara wrote, this episode was pretty solid for me. Not as entertaining as the last episode, but a classic find a way out of impossible situation episode. That is, if you can look past the very unlikely premise that they would have left someone behind who wasn't 100% dead. Plus a good message about the benefits of all memories, even the painful ones, and a respectful nod to Homer to boot. Patel's gift was a bit too convenient, but it worked well as a plot device if you like the Lost Sailors theme. Lastly, the scenic art was pretty compelling. And now, a limerick. Among the Lotus Eaters, Odysseus's crew once ate a mind-altering flower. Rigel VII generates its own memory-fading encounter. But Ortegas can still pilot thanks to self-affirmation. Memories return thanks to simple relocation. And Battelle's medallion is Pike's unexpected power.
I like that one. That was
Yeah,
very
that was
limerick.
good.
Well done, Tara.
Yeah.
Draft, take us home with Collins, please.
Colin wrote, minor mixed feelings. Negatively, it felt like it went on too long, but that's not that important. Positively, I've never felt the lesson of the value of painful memories as powerful, beneficial, and necessary as this tale taught. How can we know the value of what we have, who we are, what we've learned, and most importantly, what our failures have taught us if our memory is wiped? How much more cherished were the crew to each other after regain memories? Sorry, I don't have a rating, but this episode brought me to tears. Good tears.
All right.
Ooh,
All right.
Okay.
I
Good
think that's
stuff.
what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
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 I agree.
By the way, I just want to give a quick shout out to our amazing collective because your mailbags have been on fire for the past 2 episodes, whether we agree or not. They're all fantastic, and I love hearing where all you come from. That's why we do mailbag. We love to hear from you. Keep it going. You guys freaking rock. With all that, I'll say that's it for this one. You get to see our lovely faces one more time this week.
Oh my God.
We are going to
Yeah.
be back on Saturday, same bat time, same bat place, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time for our table read and a talk about Star Trek Prodigy. Yes, that is All the World's a Stage. It is going to be hella fun. Cannot wait.
I may or may not wear a costume.
I think she will. For Giraffe, for MC, for Hawk, I am Julian. I will say live long and prosper. Majram. Good night.